Hello everyone, and welcome to another right left video. I thought I was actually taking my pens for a walk today, and I thought I would do a video about one of my favorite makers of fountain pens and one of the most affordable and just such great quality for the price, Kaweco. And I've heard some people say Kaweco. I don't know. In my language, it looks like Kaweco, but maybe Kaweco sounds better. So this pen, this maker of pens, has been making fountain pens since 1883. They are a German brand, and they make incredibly fine writing instruments. They have different price points of pens. They have some that are even less expensive than these that I'm going to show you. They have like a student grade. They have some that look a little bit more traditional, a little bit longer. And then they have some really beautiful, fine writing instruments as well. But none of them are crazy expensive, like you know, when you get into Pelicans and things that are thousands of dollars for the great big ones that are really fancy. But the Kaweco brand, what I love about them is how stylish they are. And how great they write. So this is my collection right here. I have 5 right now. I had another one in mint that actually I lost, and I do miss it. It was really pretty. But these are the Kaweco Sports, and these are different versions of Kaweco Sports. These two are actually the same. These 3 actually, and these are each different. So I'm just going to talk to you about each one of them and show you how they write. Now, the Kaweco pens that are plastic, like these 3, come in a paper box, and the ones that are brass or aluminum or a little bit better in the sport line come in these little tins, and I love these tins. I repurpose them for watercolors. They're perfect. They fit half pans perfectly, 3 rows of half pans. It's just the best. So I reuse these for that, and I've got 2 of them. One that the brass came in and one that the aluminum came in. So I just wanted to show you that nice little tin. Kind of fun. I'll leave that up here. So I'm going to take these away and I'm going to show you my Kawecos in order of appearance and just tell you some fun things about them. This is a Midori cotton pad. So the first one I got here was this one. This is I think it's called Mandarin in the Ice series, and they're kind of these beautiful clear pastels in these translucent plastics. They're really, really pretty. They have like blue and yellow and green and pink and this orange color, and they have white and I think a violet. They're really gorgeous colors. So it's a posting pen. And I really would say that it's not that comfortable if you don't post it. The pen becomes way too short. But when you post the pen, it becomes a really comfortable pen to write with. It's weighted perfectly for my hand anyways. And it's just the right size for me. I don't have big hands. They're chubby, but my fingers are shorter and my hands are actually fairly small. And so this is a great size for me. It's very comparable to one of my favorite pens, and that's the Pelican. It's not that far off, right? But the Pelican, when it's not posted, has a fairly large profile. Not that easy, and I wouldn't take it in my pocket anyways. It's just too expensive. But when you post this, when you close it up, it's pretty small, and it's really easy to throw in your handbag or backpack or in your pocket even. So the Kaweco Sports, I've seen them between $25 and $30 when you get them in the plastic bodies. I'm not 100% sure on all the prices, but I know ballparks. So this is the first one I had after the mint. The mint was the very first one I had. And I got this one in, this is a double broad nib. You can see it says the nib size here. And I wanted one that was really juicy so I could use fun inks and get a little bit of shading. And so when I ordered it, I ordered the converters. I also had gotten one for my mint pen. And this this is the converter. Now, people did warn me and say these converters are super small. You can barely get any ink in them because we know converters never fill all the way. They fill about halfway. And by the time you use it and run out, it's just not even worth it. It's just such a pain. Well, I thought I would try it anyways. It's a piston when you just pull back like this, right? And the thing is that it doesn't fit. I have tried a million zillion times. I've written to Kaweco. I cannot get this thing to fit. And when I look at these, so these are the Kaweco cartridges, which you don't have to use them, but I have a pack. And I look at this next to here. This is clearly smaller than this. So I don't know. It doesn't fit. If any of you have one of these and you got it to work, I hope you'll let me know, because I can't get it to work. So the idea was I was going to use my fun fountain pens, fountain pen inks in this nice double broad nib. So the nib is juicy. And I haven't used it that much, but I did take it for a little walk earlier. So Kaweco Sport. This is Clementine. I think that's the name. It's either Clementine or Tangerine. And then see how nice and juicy the ink is. This ink is actually Diamine Orange, and it comes in a box like this with a whole bunch of cartridges. I love this orange ink. And so the pen is so juicy, the nib is so broad. All right, this is a double broad. And I like it for just everyday writing, okay? It's perfect. It's just, so when the ink dries, you get a little bit of shading with certain inks, right? And if you had a sparkly ink, in theory, it would look great. Unfortunately, because I can't get the converter to work, I'm stuck with cartridges. And so that's the cartridge I have right now. That's the orange. It's almost out, so I can change it. That's always fun. So that's the double broad, okay? And again, this ink is Diamine. And it's just called orange. So the Kaweco cartridges are not proprietary. They use a standard international cartridge. So you can buy their ink, which is perfectly nice, okay? But you don't have to. You can buy all sorts of inks. Lots of inks come that way. One of my favorite brands is the Gerben. They come in these nice little tins, and you get a handful of cartridges. You get, I think, 6 cartridges in the tin, and those work really well. They're pretty affordable. So they come in, gosh, 25, 30 colors. Really, really fun. Another one I really like is the Schneider ink. These are made in Germany. They have some really beautiful pale transparent colors. This one's called Blush. I also have one called Apricot that you'll see in this pen. And these are also the standard international cartridges, so I use those a lot. Of course, Diamine are excellent, excellent. And they do have some fun colors in the cartridges. But at this time, don't think they have any of their shimmering inks. And then I like the Graf Fun Faber-Castell in the Stone Gray. I love, 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 love this ink, and it is in one of my pens right now. So any standard international cartridge is going to work in the Kawecos, okay? So that's the Clementine in the double broad. Now, this one is the next one I got. This is called Macchiato. This is the Kaweco Sport in the plastic, again, like $25, $30. This one is in medium, I believe. Yes, that is a medium. So let's just see how that looks. This is the apricot ink that I was telling you about by Schneider. So this is Kaweco Sport Macchiato. And notice you can see that it's a finer line than this, but it's still juicy, right? It still shows the ink off really nicely. This is a medium nib, and the ink is Schneider Apricot, which I think is the perfect color for this pen. I absolutely love this combination. So I love this one. it's just so elegant looking, you know. It's sort of like a pinky beige. I love it. Really, really love it, especially with that ink. The next one I got was the Kaweco AL. So the AL series, it's called the AL Sport, stands for aluminum. And this is the color Stone Washed. It's a little bit different in that the, like here, this is the same color, but some of them have different colors on top. And the nib pops right out of these, in and out. You just screw it in and out. The plastic ones do not work that way, only the aluminum and brass. I don't have anything in here right now because I'm getting ready to travel with it, so I don't want to ink it up, but this is also a medium nib. It is, so it writes exactly like this, okay? And I love this pen. I love the feeling of it. It's a little bit heavier than, it's definitely heavier than this one, but when you post it and write with it, it's just, it's delightful to use. And isn't it beautiful? It's got sort of this, the edges are sort of worn like Stone Washed denim. I just love this one. I got one of these brass clips that I use between this pen and my brass pen, and that I'm putting it on there for travel because it clips into my notebook well, and it's more secure, right? And these are like $6 a piece, these little clips that you can buy from them. They come in like 4 colors. So I just love the bronzy color with the blue. So just a really beautiful pen. I love, love, love this one. It's probably my favorite. I love it. Then I bought the Kaweco Brass Sport. So this pen is heavy. It's heavy, like boom, it's heavy. Like if I drop this one, hardly a noise. This one, boom. It is heavy. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. See all of the tarnishing that's happening over time. This pen takes on a beautiful patina, and depending on your skin oils and how much you use it and all of that, you get a beautiful patina on it. You can see here where that's not used and exposed to air as much. It's a little bit different, right? But it gets this gorgeous patina. Same thing, you can unscrew the nib. This one I bought separately. It came with the I think it came with the fine nib, and I bought the extra fine. I just wanted extra fine for this pen. It is not a 24 karat gold nib. It's just a steel nib in the gold tone, which I think it looks really nice with this pen. So you can, Kaweco does make 24 karat, and they make gold nibs. You can buy them extra. They're quite expensive. They're like $140, you know, for the nib. It's just not necessary for me. And I have heard that their gold nibs are fairly stiff. Kaweco nibs in general are pretty stiff, so I'm not even going to bother with that. But this one, so this is the Kaweco Brass Sport. This is the extra fine nib, if I can spell. And this is Diamine Prussian Blue, which is my favorite ink for this pen. I was using Safari for a while, which is a green, and I even tried gray for a while, but it's just the combination of the blue and the brass. I really like that. So this is one of, these chunkier nibs, I like to write in my normal everyday handwriting, but in the extra fine, I can write in cursive as well. And I can actually get fairly small writing too. And I can also do more of a slanted handwriting if I want to get more of like a letter type. If I was writing a letter, I can get pretty nice small handwriting with this extra fine nib. Now, you can look at the difference between, for instance, this is a Sailor medium fine nib. I'm just gonna, and it's actually finer than the Kaweco extra fine. So you can get much finer nibs than their extra fine, but it is nice, and I like having it because I use this pen to do lengthy writing sessions, and so I'm usually writing in cursive because it's faster, right? I'm sorry if that was out of camera. So it is, I really like the extra fine nib. It's very nice. I'm glad I have it for this pen. I'm also glad I have the chunkier ones, but the extra fine is super nice. I also find when I'm writing for a long time, because I'm left-handed, by the time I'm done, you know, and go back, this extra fine nib, the ink dries really quickly, and so I'm not smudging things as often. So that's a really good thing. By the time I'm done with the page is dry and I can turn the page. So this is the Kaweco Brass Sport. And again, also this nib is an unscrewer. You just unscrew it. In fact, I can show you that on this one because there's no ink in it. So you can just unscrew the nib and then screw it back in, which is fantastic. So easy to change nib sizes with these pens. And then this is the last one I purchased. This is the Kaweco Collection. So every now and then Kaweco comes out with special colors, right? And I think they just came out with a couple more. But this one came out, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or so. It was called Iridescent, and it is so pretty. You just put it on the black. It's just really beautiful. It's got all sorts of colors in it. It's like mother of pearl, right? But it is plastic. It's translucent like the Clementine version. And so I got this in, I believe, a medium nib. Yes, I really like the medium. The double broad is fun, but for everyday writing, it might be a little bit thick. So I really like the medium for everyday. So this one, I think this is a pretty juicy medium. And it could just be the ink I have in here. I have the J or Ben. I just wrote the wrong thing. Iridescent, I think it's called. I think. And this is medium. And this is the J Urban. I never can spell this. Let's see. Poussière de Lune. So even the medium in this ink, if I go back, it's, you know, it's so juicy that it's going to smear. That's why I don't use this, because I'm constantly putting my hand in things. Right-handed people don't have that problem, right? They're coming at it in a different way. And so it's just not a great thing for me to do for an everyday, you know, where I shouldn't say every day, for when I'm writing long things like pages and pages in my journal or something. I don't use a nib this wet or this wet. I would use the extra fine. So in this one, I'm not sure. I think this might be a fine. It's a fine. This is a fine because this one is fine. This is perfect for long writing sessions. It's perfect. And there's something too about the heavier pens when you're writing for a long time. The weight of it helps. I don't know. It just helps me. So that's my final one. Now, does anyone need this many pens that are really the same except for the color? No, of course not. But I love them. And, you know, I will buy more because I think the next one I'm going to get the black and the aluminum. It's really sharp looking, and I think it would look great with my daily notebook. The aluminum pens, I think they're like between $60 and $75 around there, and then the brass I think are more like $80 or $90. This is the most expensive one for sure in the sport line. So yeah, those are my lovely little Kawecos. And I would love to hear if you have some, what you think of them, what colors you have, if you collect them, if you consider yourself a collector of Kaweco. I just love them. A lot of people love them. And it's sort of like, you know, Lamy pens. People collect them because they come in so many fun colors, you know. And so they've got like a whole array, like a rainbow, and you can match your ink to the pen to make it fun and just pull the pen out that you really want to use that day. Because they're not terribly expensive, right? They're, at least the plastic ones. These are definitely very affordable fountain pens and incredibly well made, and they perform really well. So yeah, I would love to hear if you also love them, what you have, what your favorites are, and any questions you have, just ask. All right, everybody, thanks so much, and I will see you again soon. Take care.